like a story time, right? Like Loki, the story we're gonna be talking about today kind of sounds like it came from Reddit, but trust me, it's 100% real. Earlier this year, so around this is April 2025. I don't know what time you guys are gonna be watching this, but yeah, April 2025. I went to Korea for a little uni break. I thought I'll just chill, climb some rocks, eat some good food, and see some friends. However, I somehow ended up joining a cult. Yeah, a real life cult. Let me explain. I know what you're thinking, like, what the fuck? But anyway, by the end of this video, you're gonna be thinking, what the hell was wrong with me? Honestly, I have no idea either. So my friend is dead tired one night, probably passed out in the hotel, or worse, stroking his shit, reading manhwa like secret class of circles. And I'm like, alright, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go Boulder, I'm gonna have some fun. I don't want to fucking sit around in the hotel wasting my time overseas, you know, like when you're overseas, you want to enjoy your holiday a little bit. But yeah, he was tired, I let him sleep, whatever. And you're probably thinking, why would I go bouldering? I love bouldering, that's my little hobby. Little background behind me, that's my hobby. But anyway, yeah, I went to go bouldering, this would have been like 10 p.m. or something. Anyway, I ended up finishing around 11 p.m, good climb. I was thinking, I'll go grab some food and go back home. Simple plan. However, I'm walking through the main streets of Hongdae, zipped up in my windbreaker, head puffed out, looking like some anime cyclist. Like if you read Windbreaker, that was the aesthetic I was kind of going for. I was wearing this jacket, Sansan gear, sick brand, shout out. And suddenly, two girls stopped me. Onion this, onion that. My Korean is absolute trash. I probably sounded like a toddler. I could speak maybe 0.1% of Korean, so everything I was saying was dog shit. I had food in my mind as well, so I was confused, but hungry and tired. So I was at a combination of things. So they came at me at the right time. And out of nowhere, one of them speaks perfect English. I think she was a teacher, 26, 25, something like that. And the other one was an accountant, about 22, closer to my age. And suddenly I realized, okay, something is happening here. But I just want my food. We sit there, we stand there in the street for like, God knows how long. Had a genuine conversation. Not some like 30-second small talk bullshit. I tell them about my studies, my family, my hobbies. And of course, I troll a little. I don't tell them anything legit because just met this person. Probably never see them ever again. But I told them I was like, I'm 19. I'm from Singapore. Doing a master's in Sydney. And I literally just came to Korea to climb. Bro, I can barely climb V5. They were confused as hell, obviously. We yapped about life, goals, small stuff. And then we somehow started the idea of them taking me to a nice place to eat dinner. They asked me, but before we left, they asked me if I wanted to experience a cultural experience. My dumbass was like, what? What do you mean by cultural experience? That should have been a key sign. To be like, nah, goodbye, and then leave. But I was hungry, tired, and I knew if I go back to the hotel, I'm just going to sleep. So I was like, we'll suss this out. We'll see how it goes out. And this leads us to going to a restaurant. It's a restaurant in Hongdae. I don't remember the name of it, but it was like a pizza kind of bar joint. American, New York kind of style, I think I would call it. I got free drinks. I didn't even pay for shit, but that's the best part. And they got me a little bit tipsy. And then they asked me again when I was a little bit tipsy. They're like, do you want to experience a cultural experience? And I'm like, bruh, I feel like drinking right now is the most cultural experience. Isn't this enough? Meanwhile, my friend, he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He's back in the hotel, probably still stroking his shit to secret class or something else. Who knows? But eventually, like we get the food as well, not just drinking. Bruh, I love Korean food. Hate me, I don't know. But just people say it's kind of bland. I've been seeing on TikTok, a lot of people have been saying it's bland. I think it's pretty good. Not the best Asian cuisine of the world, but it's good. You know, I can't hate on it. So this is Korean style pizza, so Korean Italian in New York style. I don't know, but yeah, if you ever tried it before, you should try it. Following on, they talk about the experience one more time, and yeah, I just go along with it. I'm like, okay, let me hear you out. They start talking about the idea of like blessing for your ancestors or something like that. And I'm tipsy, I'm drunk. My cognitive thinking out the window. I had no thinking ability. I was like a brain dead zombie a little bit. Anyways, we leave that restaurant. I didn't pay, or I don't remember paying. I don't think I paid. They take me on like a midnight adventure. We go on a train, then we go into another train, and I remember we take a bus to a taekwondo gym. This whole time we're still talking a little bit and chatting. I'm drunk out of my mind, trying to function, you know, no sleep, just finished gym. Not hungry no more, which is good. And then they take me to this taekwondo gym. How can I describe it? We went up like an elevator to a random room. I had to put my shoes away, had to take it off. Dangerous moment for being a foreigner in a country I didn't know about. Obviously, Asian culture, take your shoes off. I understand that. I'm Asian too. And then we walk in and they give me slippers to put on. Too small, obviously. And then we go into like this kind of gymnasium kind of like room. Obviously, the taekwondo gym. And then there's like these two other people or three other people sitting on the floor. They also look hella foreigner. And they both had like one or two Koreans talking to them. So it was like a massive room, I would say. Not massive room, but like a decent sized room. Two other people are joining the cult. And then there's me in the other right corner. And we go over here, we sit down. They give me a hanbok, which is a Korean traditional dress. This one didn't really look like the traditional dresses I saw in the palaces and stuff like that. It's more like a scarf, kind of, I'll be honest. They bring out more food, biscuits, tea, ham, grapes. And then we have another genuine conversation sitting there. Like, you guys are probably thinking, this is not even that bad for real. It wasn't. But here's me getting initiated into joining a cult. Which is crazy to say out loud, but yeah. Yeah, we sit down at this little tiny table on our like sitting down on the floor, by the way. It's like a little small table. I felt like I was in high school again, kinda. And then they were interviewing me interview school project style questions. And they give me a piece of paper to fill out. I remember vividly that it talked about like my parents' name, like my age, their ages, like a lot of stuff, like you know, like pretty bad stuff to give away to someone that I just met. Luckily, my brain had like 2%. I had 2 brain cells left, and I had the ability to write down like random names and shit. By the way, the name I gave them was Thomas from Singapore. That's not my name, but I'm going with that. I think I wrote 4 sisters, and I had no dad because whatever reason. Worst part is as well, I'm like wearing not a backpack. I'm wearing like a Uniqlo bag. You know the crescent moon type bag. I think a lot of people have that as well. My passport is in there. I'm in a different country as well. And the worst part is, I leave my bag with my passport in there, and then we go next door to some like prayer altar bullshit. I'm not hating. I respect all cultures, but I was deep in here, and I was like, I cannot leave. And I forgot my passport wasn't on me, so I just left my passport sit in a random room, like not near me. If I lost that stuff, I ain't coming back. That's the scary part. So that was half in my brain while they teach me like certain moves. For reference, this isn't like a Christian cult. This isn't like a Buddhist cult. It's another religion I don't know about. I'm not familiar with actually. I'm sure you can go online and someone has probably had similar experiences with me, like similar type of experiences. Yeah, we go into this room. They start teaching me like moves and stuff. They start speaking or singing Korean. I don't remember. Kind of sounded like a hymn, like a kind of vibe. I don't want to be racist, so I'm not gonna say that. I remember the movements were like vividly like jumping up and down and then praying. Kind of freaky, but yeah. Like that's when it really hit me. I was like, bruh, I've officially joined a cult. Like I've done everything. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, bro, I got free soju and free alcohol. And free food. Like, worst comes to worst, like, I got fed good, you know? Like, if this is my last day on Earth, I got free soju. And what can I ask for? Nothing else, you know? Come on. Anyway, going on with this kind of ritual thing. It went on for like 20 minutes or something. I shrug off, like I'm like, I guess I'm committing to this already. I'm not gonna feel bad. I don't want to feel bad with them, right? And then halfway through the ceremony, I have to burn that piece of paper I wrote down, which was good for me because I was like, hopefully they didn't make a copy of this, and and whatever fake bullshit I put on it gets a burn as well. And yeah, that was like kind of the end of it. We all took a shot of soju, us three, and then we continued to talk a little bit more. And then at this point, I'm like, yeah, I want to get out of here. Like, this is going crazy. I didn't even check my phone, so I didn't even know what time it was, but I think it was like 2 a.m. when I finished this. But yeah, my friend still has no clue. He's still asleep, so at this point, he doesn't know anything. And yeah, so we sit down back in that room. I get out of the hanbok. I put my bag straight back on because I was terrified I'd let that go. And then they want to talk about having another meeting, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if I can. You know, I told you guys I'm only on holiday for here. And they're like, ooh, but can you meet this Wednesday? And I was like, man, I don't think I can. I'll be honest. Anyways, we like, yeah, I don't think I could have done it. I'll be honest, as well. I was telling them, and then I told them, can I please bring my friend? Because I told them I was with a friend, which I probably shouldn't have done. R.I.P. to that guy. I'm kidding, he didn't die. But yeah, I told them I had a friend, and they were straight away like, no, we don't want him. We only want you. You have a spiritual connection with us. So I was like, ooh, okay, that's kind of crazy. What the fuck? But yeah, I'm also drunk, so I just shrugged it off again. Not the smartest part of my life so far. I'm pretty young and I joined a cult. You know, that's not the most common thing people can say. Worst part is also in a different country that I know maybe very basic language. Like I can talk enough to conversate ordering like a dish, but that's about it. But yeah, that was like kind of a part of it. Anyway, I'm just bragging on, you know, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, this story ends with them telling me that I can't tell anyone for the next 1 year. I don't remember the limit, but they put a limit on it. If I tell anyone, like, my wishes won't come true. So I guess, boom, me telling this YouTube video about this stuff, I'm getting cursed for the rest of my life. It is what it is. Well, hopefully this has been an interesting story so far. And then after that, I was obviously wanting to go home. Would have been like 2:30 or 3 o'clock, right? I nearly made the grave mistake of them booking the taxi for me, because obviously there's no trains or buses running at 3 a.m. because who the hell would be awake at that time? They nearly booked the taxi for me. I nearly gave them the address I was staying in, which would have been a big mistake. But I locked in real quick. I switched on my brain. The last brain cell, I used that up at that moment, and I taxied all the way back to Seoul. I was just out of Seoul. I think I was a 20-minute taxi ride out of Seoul, which is a pretty big distance for someone who doesn't live in that country. But yeah. Forward on to the next day. My friend and I meet one of my best Korean friends. Like, she took the day off work to show us around Seoul and go climbing. I actually met her at climbing in my country when she was here for a holiday, working holiday. But yeah, it's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to visit their country, was see the friends that I made earlier last year. And I just knew that I would have the perfect tour guides and people to show me around Korea, because my knowledge is very minimal. I know I like some of the stuff from like the music, T1, Faker and stuff like that. Anyways, if you ever have the opportunity to go to visit a country with people you know that can speak the language or from there, best experience ever. Genuinely best experience ever. But yeah, before I think we were onto the train or whatever, and we just met her. We had met her at the train station. We took the train. I can't remember. I think we were going to Seongsu, which is a suburb. And my friend, my roommate, I told him before, like, we went to go meet up with her, I told him about the dinner. I didn't tell him about anything else. I just told him about the dinner. I was like, hey man, I low-key had alcohol. I had a little drink party with some Koreans. And he's like, what? That's crazy. And I told him, I was like, I kind of did it with cultists, by the way. He's like, he was tweaking when he heard that. He's like, his genuine reaction was, I could have died. And to this day, he always says, I could have died. Bro, you couldn't have died? What do you mean? Anyways. I never told him about the prayer stuff. Just the food and the chatting. I don't know if he ever hears this video, then he will hear that too. But of course he brings it up to my Korean friend. And her reaction was like, are you fucking dumb? And I was like, okay, chill. I sat there and these two were just yelling at me, calling me an idiot and stuff like that. Honestly, I deserved it, but bro, the adrenaline from that night, how could I not just follow through with this crazy thing? It was looking insane. I got free food, drinks, and a chaotic story to tell. But maybe, just maybe, don't follow some random girls at night in a foreign country like me. Yeah, like that's the moral of the story. Don't follow some random girls in a foreign country. It's also worse if you're tipsy, or you might end up joining a cult. Like low-key, that surviving that night is harder than any 1v5s in my life. You played CSGO, I felt like I was fucking on a site trying to win. Nah, I'm just kidding, that was a troll. But yeah, but honestly, the crazy part beside that, like despise that, I had fun, I got a story to tell, laughs, and a wild adventure. Just don't tell my friend. And yeah, honestly fair, but that's a crazy little story about my time I joined a cult in Korea. If you enjoyed hearing that, please comment down below. If you have any similar experience or any things to talk about, let me know. I want to hear it. Thank you. Peace.